August, 480 BC. A narrow pass called Thermopylae becomes the stage for one of history's most famous last stands. 300 warriors from the militaristic city-state of Sparta, led by their king, Leonidas, stood against the full might of the Persian Empire, a force hundreds of thousands strong. But this was no ordinary battle. It was a fight for freedom, for survival, and for the very future of Greece. A stand so heroic that it would be immortalized in legend for thousands of years. How did 300 warriors stand against an empire? What were the tactics that allowed these men to hold the line? And what led Leonidas to sacrifice everything at Thermopylae? Join us as we uncover the extraordinary story of Leonidas and the 300. In the early 5th century BC, the Persian Empire was the superpower of the ancient world. Led by King Xerxes, it stretched from Egypt to India and was determined to subjugate Greece. After years of conflict between Greece and Persia, Xerxes launched an ambitious campaign to conquer the small but fiercely independent Greek city-states. His army was said to number over 100,000 soldiers, supported by a vast fleet. But Greece was no easy target, especially Sparta, a city built on discipline, honor, and war. Spartan men were trained from birth to be warriors. At the age of 7, boys were taken from their families and subjected to a brutal upbringing known as the agage, designed to mold them into elite soldiers. Spartans lived by a code that placed duty to the state above all else. Their loyalty was to their fellow warriors, their land, and their king. It was this unyielding spirit that would soon be put to the ultimate test. As Xerxes' army marched toward Greece, the independent city-states realized they had no choice but to unite. Athens and Sparta, longtime rivals, came together in a rare alliance to face the common enemy. The Greeks knew that the Persian army would need to pass through Thermopylae, a narrow pass where their superior numbers would mean little. As Xerxes' army marched toward Greece, the independent city-states realized they had no choice but to unite. Athens and Sparta, longtime rivals, came together in a rare alliance to face the common enemy. The Greeks knew that the Persian army would need to pass through Thermopylae, a narrow pass where their superior numbers would mean little. Though 300 Spartans would form the core of the force, they were joined by 7,000 Greek soldiers from other states. It was a coalition of the willing, a last stand against overwhelming odds. Xerxes expected a swift victory, confident that his numbers alone would break the Greek resistance. He sent emissaries to Leonidas, offering wealth and power in exchange for submission. Leonidas's response was clear and defiant. "Molon labe, come and take them." Over the course of 3 days, the Greeks, led by Leonidas and his Spartans, held the line. Thermopylae was a narrow pass, barely wide enough for a few men to stand side by side. Here, the vast numbers of the Persian army counted for little. The Spartan strategy relied on their superior training and discipline. They fought in the phalanx, a tight formation that allowed them to withstand the Persian assaults. Wave after wave, the Persians attacked, only to be repelled by the disciplined Spartans. On the first day, the Persians made no progress. On the second day, Xerxes sent his elite troops, the Immortals, to break the Greek lines. But even they were no match for the tactical brilliance and fierce resolve of Leonidas and his men. Despite their heroic stand, the Greeks were doomed by treachery. A local Greek named Ephialtes betrayed his countrymen, revealing to Xerxes a hidden path that bypassed the narrow pass. With the Persians now able to surround the Greek forces, Leonidas knew that the end was near. He ordered the majority of the Greek troops to retreat, but he and his 300 Spartans, along with 700 Thespians who refused to abandon their king, stayed behind. With the Persians now able to surround the Greek forces, Leonidas knew that the end was near. He ordered the majority of the Greek troops to retreat, but he and his 300 Spartans, along with 700 Thespians who refused to abandon their king, stayed behind. Though Leonidas and the 300 perished at Thermopylae, their sacrifice was not in vain. The delay allowed the Greek city-states time to prepare for the decisive naval battle at Salamis, where the Persian fleet was destroyed. Xerxes' ambitions were ultimately thwarted. The courage of Leonidas and his men became a rallying cry for Greece. Their defiance inspired the Greek forces to unite, and eventually, the Persians were driven from their land. Today, Leonidas and the 300 are remembered as symbols of courage, sacrifice, and the unbreakable spirit of resistance. Their story continues to inspire generations, reminding us that sometimes the most hopeless battles are the ones that define us. Thermopylae may have been a narrow strip of land, but in the hearts of those who fought there, it became a battlefield for the soul of Greece. Leonidas and his 300 knew they could not survive, but they also knew that their sacrifice would echo through history. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think are history's greatest warriors?